Hi, my name is Dr. Rayshawn Ray, aiming to speak truth to power, and this is my daily thought. I don't know about you, but in many respects, good riddance to 2016 and looking forward to a much better 2017. And with that being said, don't make New Year's resolutions. Instead, make lifestyle changes. Let me repeat that. Don't make New Year's resolutions, make lifestyle changes. Why? Because studies document that when we make New Year's resolutions, that oftentimes we don't hold them. I mean, by the time February comes around and our work gets going, and if you have kids, things get going with kids and caregiving and other things, that your resolutions fall by the wayside. And 365 days later, you're making these resolutions again. I see this quite frequently in the gym. Today I went to the gym for my 30-minute Mondays, ran about 3.25 miles. And there was no treadmill in the gym. And while I get excited in January to see more people, even though I'm annoyed that I couldn't get on the treadmill at the time that I normally go, what excites me is that there are new people in the gym trying to exercise. But unfortunately, I then get a bit disheartened because I know that those people aren't normally going to stay in the gym. And that's oftentimes because people go in the gym and they see other people exercising, or they try to do some new diet or some new workout instead of building up and working up to getting to a point where you are comfortable, right? I mean, you're going to deal with soreness and other things, but when it comes to dieting, when it comes to exercise, you have to take incremental steps, right? It's not, you start slow. It doesn't have to be something that you just go full throttle for 100%. Start simple. Do things like drink more water. That's real simple. Just plan to get an extra bottle of water. Fill it up one extra time throughout the day. Walk more frequently. Take steps at work. Park farther in the parking lot when you go to the grocery store, which I know can be a lot and it can be cumbersome when you have a lot of stuff and you have a lot of things going on. But these are things that can increase your or actually improve your health. Do something simple like say every day I'm going to eat a salad for lunch. And then eat a healthy breakfast, whether that be eating eggs or bacon, or whether that be doing some sort of a fruit smoothie like I do. I do 2 cups of frozen fruit with some protein and a cup of milk, and some chai seeds, and just blend it up. And I mean and also with some yogurt. And I mean it's just a great breakfast. So part of it is making these incremental lifestyle changes. All these things I mentioned are things I do for health, but but besides that point, because that's just a good example to highlight the way that people deal with resolutions. What I want to talk about are some lifestyle changes and really reflecting on 2016. What are your most memorable collective memories from 2016? What are your top 5 things that you remember about 2016 that either happened to you personally or that impacted the United States or the world more broadly? I think there were a lot of things that happened in 2016. I mean, again, we are in the middle of a social movement, and so we are seeing a lot of things happen. But there was a study, I believe that Pew put out, I think, showing the ways that blacks, whites, and Latinos, Hispanics, as well as across age groups, view historical events, and found that there were quite distinct racial differences. In particular, African Americans were more likely to say the civil rights movement, which I felt like was pretty interesting and pretty telling. The top 2 for all groups were 9/11 and the election of President Barack Obama. But these differences become really interesting to kind of think about because collective memories are racialized, they're gendered, they're sexualized, they're classed. And so when I think about some of the most collective memories from 2016, I think about the Flint water crisis. I mean, people have forgot about that. I mean, people still do not have good water. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, they still do not have appropriate water. And even though I hear that sanctions have came down and there are penalties and things are in the legal system as it relates to some of the officials, I mean, it's still not right. And kids are going to grow up and they're going to be, they're at a higher risk for all sorts of deleterious health outcomes. And we're not focusing on that enough. Obviously, the Supreme Court Justice Block and the death of Supreme Court Justice Scalia. And part of that block is looking at the fact that President Obama has had more federal judges denied by Congress than all past presidents put together. Now, let me say that one more time. President Obama, in his 8 years, has had more federal judges, because presidents appoint federal judges, have had more federal judges denied than all previous presidents put together. That is what Barack Obama has dealt with. So when I think about the Supreme Court Justice Block, that's what I think about. And it's led to the third thing, which is Trump the election of Donald Trump and the fact that now he has the most federal appointees that he can make almost at one time. I think it's like over 100. Obviously, we can't forget about Orlando and the massacre there, and people are saying it's the largest mass shooting and definitely in recent history, but I definitely don't think that we can forget about Tulsa, what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, predominantly black city historically that was literally burned to the ground. People were killed, people were massacred, but in 2016, definitely Orlando, it was definitely a hate crime. And people are linking it to ISIS, but in many respects, this was a hate crime against people who are part of the LGBTQ community, and we can't forget that. So solidarity with them on that point, because I think whenever they step into a club, whenever they step into a place that's similar, we see that, and we just saw a huge massacre in Turkey and Istanbul in a similar fashion that ISIS did take credit for. The next thing is the Dakota Access Pipeline, which is still going on. Native Americans trying to protect the land that is theirs. And once again, we have our federal government just taking land that isn't federal land. And then police killings and killings of unarmed people or people who weren't attacking police at a particular time. And I mean, we can think about Dallas, we can think about Baton Rouge. I mean, there's a lot going on right now. But as we think about this, I think about what are the 5 positive and significant things that have happened personally to you, and then what are the 5 negative things that have happened personally to you, and possibly what are the things you want to work on. I'll share mine. My 5 positives are first, spending time with my grandfather, and I'll get to the negative in a second, but that is my positive, and I'll leave it there for now, being able to spend quite a bit of time with him. The second thing is my 4-year-old starting to read, which is just quite amazing to see that. I was there when he started literally reading sentences, and it was one of the literally the best moments of my life to see that. I was quite excited. Third, still with reading with my other kid, my 6-year-old, turned 6 this past year in 2016. He's in kindergarten. He's reading on a 3rd grade level. It's just amazing to see that. And then getting tenure. I mean, getting tenure was big. I mean, it's a big deal to be an academic and get awarded tenure. I'm super excited about it, and I'm excited what the future is going to hold as far as the type of research that I'm trying to do and the type of change I'm trying to make. And then this vlog. And, I think for a lot of people, they feel like the vlog came right after tenure, like the vlog was something I was thinking about. No, not in the least. I actually, I mean, this isn't something that I thought about doing at all. What happened, this was part of the top 5 stories. And I think I actually probably named about 6. But when Philando Castile was killed and his girlfriend Diamond Reynolds was in the car with her and sitting in the back of the police car handcuffed with her daughter, and she started crying out to God, and her daughter then goes, "Mommy, don't cry, I'm here." That just did something to me in a very, very different way. Having, at the time, a 4 and a 5-year-old. And then the killing of Corinne Gaines and the shooting of her 5-year-old by police in Baltimore had a similar effect on me as well. And that led me to have to get something out, get things off my chest and out of my mind every single day. And it led to me vlogging. I could write it out, but I would have, been playing around with my words and doing those sort of things. So the vlog helped me get that out. So thank you all for watching this and sticking with me for the past 6 months. I'm looking forward to continuing it into 2017. But the reason how I got started was sitting at the park on one of my 30-minute Mondays, and one of my friends, Dr. Keon Gilbert at SLU, who we've been doing some work together on race and policing and health, sent me the video, the extended video of Philando Castile, the after effects of him being killed, and that just did something to me. So the vlog is a positive because although I hope that I'm able to share some sociological insights, it's actually helping me to be able to cope mentally and emotionally with the things that are happening in our country. And then, part of this was that I got the Research Communicator Award from the University of Maryland, which is pretty exciting for this type of work that I've been doing. And I actually had an enjoyable time at an event like that, and I normally don't. And then finally, the policing project that I'm doing with Dr. Chris Marsh and others at the University of Maryland, doing implicit bias training with Prince George's County Police Department, as well as conducting a study on the effect of body cameras on treatment of citizens. And I feel like this is such important work, contributing exactly to what a lot of people would say are some of the main problems that we've seen in 2016, even though for people in certain communities that's been continuing for a very long time. 5 negatives.